Hello everyone. KitKat is one of the most iconic chocolate bars in the world, with a rich history that dates back to 1935 when it was first introduced in the UK by Rowntrees. Over the years, KitKat has become a global favorite. Today, KitKat is produced by Nestlé, which operates some of the largest and most advanced chocolate factories in the world. Approximately 700 KitKat bars are consumed every second worldwide, which amounts to around 22 billion bars consumed each year. From TV shows and movies to memes and social media, KitKat has firmly established itself as more than just a chocolate bar. It's a cultural icon. But how exactly are these sweet and crispy bars made? Let's step inside one of Nestlé's state-of-the-art factories and discover the fascinating process behind the making of KitKat.
The foundation of KitKat's distinct taste and texture comes from its two key ingredients: milk chocolate, 73%, and wafer. The process of making milk chocolate starts from the cocoa plantations, where cocoa beans are cultivated, harvested, and processed to create the rich and smooth chocolate coating that defines KitKat's signature taste. Now let's come to tropical regions such as West Africa, South America, and Southeast Asia. Cocoa trees grow best in hot and humid climates. Cocoa pods, which grow directly on the trunk and branches of the cocoa tree, are harvested manually using sharp knives or machetes. The pods are carefully opened to avoid damaging the beans inside. Each pod contains about 30 to 50 cocoa beans. After harvesting, the cocoa beans are placed in wooden boxes or banana leaves and left to ferment for about 5 to 7 days. Fermentation is crucial for developing the characteristic chocolate flavor. During this process, the beans' natural sugars break down, and the beans take on a darker color and richer aroma. Once fermentation is complete, the beans are spread out under the sun to dry for about 5 to 7 days. Drying reduces the moisture content of the beans to around 6 to 7%, which is necessary for proper storage and processing. After drying, the beans are transported to Nestlé's processing facilities, where they are roasted at temperatures of 120 to 150 degrees Celsius for about 20 to 30 minutes. Roasting develops the rich chocolate flavor by breaking down acids and bitter compounds in the beans. The roasted beans are then cracked open to remove the outer shells, leaving behind the valuable cocoa nibs. These nibs are ground into a thick paste known as cocoa mass, which contains both cocoa solids and cocoa butter. Cocoa mass is combined with sugar, milk powder, and extra cocoa butter to create milk chocolate. This mixture is blended until smooth and consistent. The mixture is processed in conching machines, where it is continuously stirred and heated for 1672 hours. This process refines the texture and flavor of the chocolate, ensuring a smooth and creamy consistency. Finally, the chocolate is tempered by cooling and reheating it to create stable cocoa butter crystals. This gives the chocolate a glossy appearance and a satisfying snap when broken. While the chocolate is being prepared, the wafer production process takes place simultaneously. The crispy wafer layers are a defining feature of KitKat, providing the perfect contrast to the smooth chocolate coating. The process starts with preparing the wafer dough, which consists of a mixture of flour, sugar, fat, and leavening agents. The dough is mixed until it forms a smooth, consistent texture. The wafer dough is then spread thinly onto large metal baking plates and fed into industrial ovens. The baking process takes place at high temperatures, ensuring that the wafers develop a light, crispy texture. The heat causes the leavening agents to react, creating tiny air pockets within the wafer that give it its signature crunch. After baking, the wafer sheets are transferred onto a conveyor belt to cool down. Cooling is essential to maintain the crispiness of the wafer and prevent moisture from being trapped inside. The cooled wafer sheets are now ready for the next step, assembling the layers with chocolate cream. This step involves spreading a layer of chocolate cream between the wafer sheets, creating the signature multi-layered structure of KitKat. The process begins with a thin layer of chocolate cream being applied evenly onto a wafer sheet. A second wafer sheet is then carefully placed on top, and the process is repeated until several layers of wafer and cream are formed. The layered wafer block is then gently pressed to ensure that the layers stick together evenly without breaking the delicate wafer structure. The consistency and uniformity of this step are crucial to the final product. Any misalignment or uneven coating can affect the taste and texture of the final KitKat bar. Once the wafer layers have been assembled, the next step is to cut them into the familiar KitKat shape. High-speed cutting machines slice the large wafer sheets into individual KitKat bars. Each bar is cut to a precise size to ensure consistency across all products. The chocolate coating process is one of the most visually satisfying steps in the production of KitKat. The cut wafer bars are placed on a conveyor belt and passed through a chocolate enrobing machine. This machine creates a waterfall of melted milk chocolate, which completely covers each bar as it passes through. The chocolate coating is made from the milk chocolate mixture that was prepared earlier. The tempered chocolate is heated to a specific temperature to ensure that it flows evenly over the wafer bars. Any excess chocolate is removed using vibrating belts or air blowers, which helps maintain a uniform coating. The enrobing process ensures that each KitKat bar has a smooth, consistent layer of milk chocolate. Once the KitKat bars are coated in chocolate, they are transferred to a cooling tunnel. This tunnel is set at a controlled temperature of 10 to 15 degrees Celsius, which allows the chocolate to harden slowly and evenly. After the chocolate has set, the bars are directed toward the packaging area. Automated machines wrap each KitKat bar in branded foil or plastic film to protect it from moisture and air exposure. The wrapped bars are then sealed to maintain freshness and extend shelf life. The final step is labeling, where the product name, ingredients, and production date are printed on the packaging. The packaged KitKat bars are then boxed and prepared for shipment to stores worldwide. The production process of KitKat at Nestlé is a complex yet carefully managed operation that combines traditional chocolate-making techniques with advanced manufacturing technology. From the harvesting of cocoa beans to the final packaging and distribution, every step is meticulously controlled to ensure the consistent taste and quality that consumers expect from KitKat. And now let's take a closer look at the harvesting and processing of the ingredients that go into making these sweet KitKat bars. Cocoa, derived from the Theobroma cacao tree, is the essential ingredient in chocolate production and thrives in tropical regions around the equator. The tree produces oval-shaped pods that come in various colors, including green, yellow, red, and purple, depending on the variety and ripeness. Inside these pods are cocoa beans surrounded by a sweet, white pulp. There are three main types of cocoa: Criollo, Forastero, and Trinitario. Cocoa trees require warm temperatures between 68 to 86 degrees Fahrenheit, high humidity, and well-drained, nutrient-rich soil to flourish. Cocoa growing regions include West Africa, notably Ivory Coast and Ghana, which together produce over half of the world's supply, Latin America and Southeast Asia, such as Indonesia and the Philippines. These regions' ideal climatic conditions make them global hubs for cocoa cultivation, supporting the production of over 4.4 million tons annually. Harvesting cocoa is as much an art as it is hard work. It's a process steeped in tradition, requiring skill and patience, and is still done manually in many parts of the world. This method, though labor-intensive, ensures the highest quality of beans and reflects the deep cultural connection farmers have with this crop. The first step in harvesting cocoa is identifying ripe pods. Experienced farmers rely on their keen observation to determine the perfect timing. Cocoa pods don't ripen all at once, so farmers often need to make multiple passes through the plantation. The color of the pod serves as an indicator. Green pods turn yellow or orange, while red pods deepen in hue. Timing is critical. A pod harvested too early or too late can compromise the quality of the beans inside. Once the ripe pods are identified, the next task is cutting them from the trees. Armed with sharp tools like machetes or specialized knives, farmers carefully cut the pods to avoid damaging the tree's bark or nearby flowers, which could develop into future pods. This step requires precision and care, as any harm to the tree could affect its productivity. After the cocoa pods are carefully cut from the trees, they are gathered into large piles, ready for the next step. This part of the process often requires significant physical effort, as workers must carry heavy loads through dense plantations. The journey can be long and arduous, especially in larger cocoa farms where fields stretch across vast areas. Once the pods are brought to a central location, the real work begins, cracking them open to reveal the treasure inside. This step is typically done by hand, using simple tools like machetes or sticks to split the pod's tough outer shells. It's a task that demands precision and care to avoid damaging the precious beans within. Inside each pod lies a cluster of cocoa beans, nestled in a layer of sweet, white pulp that has a fruity aroma. Workers carefully scoop out the beans and their surrounding pulp, ensuring none are left behind. The process is labor-intensive and often performed as a communal activity, bringing workers together in a shared rhythm of effort and tradition. The now empty pods are not discarded as waste. Instead, they are often repurposed to enrich the soil, either through composting or direct application in the fields. This sustainable practice not only reduces waste, but also helps maintain the fertility of the land for future cocoa harvests. Each step, from gathering the pods to extracting the beans, reflects the dedication and craftsmanship that make cocoa cultivation so unique and vital. Manual harvesting is labor-intensive but deeply rewarding. It connects farmers to their land and the centuries-old tradition of cocoa cultivation. Despite the challenges, this method is widely practiced because it ensures the beans' quality, laying a solid foundation for the next stages of processing. The journey of cocoa beans doesn't end with harvesting. To unlock their full potential, the beans undergo a series of post-harvest processes, each playing a vital role in shaping the final product's quality and flavor. The first step is fermentation, a crucial process that transforms raw beans into the foundation of chocolate. Freshly harvested beans, still covered in their white pulp, are piled into wooden boxes or spread under layers of banana leaves. Over the next 5 to 7 days, natural yeasts and bacteria break down the pulp, generating heat and triggering chemical reactions. These reactions develop the beans' characteristic chocolate flavor while reducing bitterness. The beans must be turned regularly to ensure even fermentation, a step that requires close attention and expertise. After fermentation, the beans are ready for drying. This process involves spreading the beans out under the sun on mats, trays, or concrete surfaces. Farmers regularly turn the beans to ensure they dry evenly. Sun drying typically takes about a week, during which the beans' moisture content is reduced to around 7%. Proper drying is critical. If done poorly, the beans can develop mold or off flavors, compromising their quality. Once dried, the beans undergo sorting and packing. Workers carefully inspect the beans to remove any debris, defective beans, or foreign materials. The cleaned beans are then packed into breathable jute sacks, which help maintain their quality during storage and transport. These sacks are often marked with the origin and quality grade of the beans, ensuring traceability as they make their way to chocolate manufacturers around the world. Every step of post-harvest processing is essential for preserving the beans' quality and enhancing their flavor. This meticulous process not only safeguards the farmers' hard work, but also sets the stage for the beans' transformation into chocolate. After a long journey across the ocean, cocoa beans arrive at processing factories where they undergo an intricate production process using advanced technology to transform into smooth, melt-in-your-mouth chocolate bars. As soon as the sacks of cocoa beans are poured into the feed hopper, the cleaning process begins, setting the stage for a remarkable transformation. The next step is roasting, a pivotal stage in the art of chocolate making, where the raw, earthy flavors of the beans are awakened and elevated into a deep, irresistible aroma. Inside industrial roasters, the beans are gradually heated to an optimal temperature of 250 to 300 degrees Fahrenheit for 30 to 40 minutes, unlocking their full flavor potential and laying the foundation for premium quality chocolate. This process does more than just remove excess moisture. It develops hundreds of complex flavor compounds, adding depth and character to the chocolate. If the beans are under-roasted, the flavor remains weak and unremarkable. If over-roasted, they can burn, creating an unpleasant bitterness. That's why chocolatiers carefully monitor temperature and timing to achieve the perfect roast. A fascinating transformation also takes place during roasting. The outer shells of the beans become crisp, making it easier to remove them later. Once the beans have been roasted to perfection, they are quickly cooled to lock in their aroma before moving on to the next stage of chocolate making. After roasting, the cocoa beans are sent through a cracking machine, which gently breaks their brittle shells. A high-pressure air system then blows away the lightweight husks, leaving behind only the pure cocoa nibs, the most valuable part of the bean. Packed with cocoa butter and rich flavor compounds, these nibs are the key to creating the smooth texture of chocolate. Though small and dark, these glossy cocoa nibs hold an entire world of flavor. They are the very soul of chocolate. At this stage, they are ready to enter the next crucial phase of transformation. The cacao nibs are fed into a roller mill or ball mill, where intense pressure breaks down their structure, releasing the natural cocoa butter and transforming them into a thick, liquid-like mass known as cocoa liquor. Despite the name liquor, this substance is quite dense and has the pure, bitter taste of cacao. To achieve a smoother texture, the cocoa liquor undergoes further refining in a 5-roll mill, which grinds the particles down to just 15 to 20 microns, small enough that the human tongue can't detect any graininess. This process is crucial in determining the velvety smoothness of chocolate as it melts in your mouth. During the grinding process, ingredients like sugar, cocoa butter, and sometimes lecithin are added to create a smooth and uniform texture. The exact composition varies depending on the type of chocolate. For dark chocolate, the mixture mainly consists of cocoa solids, cocoa butter, and sugar, preserving the rich, bold flavor of cacao in its purest form. Meanwhile, milk chocolate includes milk powder or fresh milk, giving it a creamy, velvety texture and a signature sweet, indulgent taste. Once the ingredients are combined, the chocolate mixture undergoes one of the most crucial steps: conching. The mixture is placed in a conch machine where powerful paddles continuously stir and aerate it at temperatures ranging from 130 to 180 degrees for anywhere between 6 to 72 hours, depending on the desired chocolate quality. During this process, the particle size is further refined, while unwanted bitter and acidic compounds gradually evaporate, resulting in a smoother, more well-rounded flavor. This is why premium chocolates typically undergo longer conching times, leading to a silkier texture and a lingering, sophisticated finish. Finally, the liquid chocolate is heated to 110 to 120 degrees Fahrenheit to break down any unstable cocoa butter crystals. It is then cooled to 80-85 degrees Fahrenheit before being gently reheated to 88 to 90 degrees Fahrenheit. This process, known as tempering, is essential for achieving chocolate with a smooth, glossy finish, a firm structure, and just the right amount of snap when broken. Once perfectly tempered, the liquid chocolate is poured into molds using an automated molding system, then gradually cooled to ensure a solid, flawless texture, free from air bubbles or deformities. Finally, the finished chocolates are carefully packaged by automated wrapping machines, ready to delight chocolate lovers everywhere. But today, chocolate is more than just a sweet treat. It is an art form and a symbol of creativity in the food industry. From classic chocolate bars to crunchy nut-filled pralines, from pure dark chocolate to creamy milk varieties, an endless array of flavors and textures continues to emerge, fueling an industry worth tens of billions of dollars. Each year, chocolate production accounts for over 50% of the total revenue in the U.S. confectionery market, making it one of the biggest pillars of the sweet food industry. Iconic brands like Hershey's, Mars, and Ghirardelli have built powerful empires, not only dominating the domestic market but also expanding their influence worldwide. Whether it's the sight of glossy, foil-wrapped chocolate truffles or the perfectly shaped squares of a chocolate bar, these treats have become an inseparable part of life's special moments. From Valentine's Day to Christmas to Halloween, chocolate is more than just a dessert. It's a tradition, a celebration, and a source of joy. Just like humans, a dairy moo's mood plays a crucial role in its productivity. When they're happy, lounging in lush green pastures without a care in the world, they produce rich, creamy milk that turns into the butter we love. However, when they're stressed, whether it's due to a poor diet, bad weather, or maybe just a grumpy farmer, their milk supply drops faster than butter melting on a hot pancake. Do you agree with these moos? Before a drop of milk is collected or a stick of butter is made, every dairy story begins in the vast farmlands, where lush green pastures stretch endlessly to the horizon, stepping into the harvesting process that ensures the highest quality nutrition for dairy cows. Equipped with sharp cutting mechanisms, modern forage harvesters swiftly trim lush green pastures. Inside the harvester, a powerful chopping unit reduces the grass into finely cut pieces, optimizing it for easy digestion and maximum nutrient absorption for dairy cows. As the harvester glides across the fields, freshly cut forage is immediately collected and transferred into specialized silage wagons running alongside. A single modern forage harvester can process hundreds of hectares per day, transforming vast fields of grass into tons of high-quality feed. Once harvested, truckloads of fresh forage are transported to silos or bunkers, where they undergo a careful fermentation process to create silage. Over several weeks, natural lactic acid bacteria ferment the sugars in the forage, gradually lowering the pH. This process preserves essential nutrients, resulting in high-quality silage that provides dairy cows with a stable, energy-rich diet year-round. Once the cows are fed a balanced diet, They grow and mature until they reach breeding age, typically around 15 to 18 months. Farmers carefully manage the breeding process, either through natural mating or artificial insemination, to ensure healthy pregnancies. After approximately 9 months of gestation, the cows give birth to calves, and once they recover from calving, they begin producing milk, officially entering the lactation phase. Before milking begins, cows are guided into a modern milking parlor, where they are kept in a calm and comfortable environment with soft lighting and optimal temperatures to reduce stress. After the udders of these happy cows have been thoroughly cleaned, farmers perform a pre-milking strip test to stimulate milk flow and ensure that every drop meets the highest quality standards. Next, the automated milking machine is carefully attached to the cow's udder. This system features vacuum-powered teat cups, mimicking a calf's natural suckling motion. A single cow produces an average of 30 to 35 liters of milk per day, while a large dairy farm can collect over 50,000 liters daily. Impressive, right? The fresh milk is immediately cooled to below 40 Celsius in refrigerated storage tanks, ensuring top quality. It is then collected by insulated milk trucks and transported to processing facilities, where it undergoes a magical transformation, becoming golden, creamy butter. After the milk is collected, it's far from over. The milk needs to be processed before it can hit the shelves of your local grocery store. Here's what happens next. First, the milk is transported from the farm to a processing plant in large, insulated tanker trucks. These trucks are like giant thermoses, keeping the milk cool to prevent spoilage. At the processing plant, the milk goes through pasteurization, a process that heats the milk to a specific temperature to kill any harmful bacteria. This ensures that when you chug a glass of milk, you're not also chugging a cocktail of germs. Next, the milk is homogenized. This is a fancy way of saying that the fat in the milk is broken down so it doesn't separate and form a layer of cream on top. Though let's be real, some people love that old school cream on top milk. Finally, the milk is bottled, packaged, and shipped out to stores. And voila! That gallon of milk you grabbed from the fridge section at your local supermarket started its journey in a cow's udder just a few days ago. Milk is big business in America. In fact, the dairy industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry, contributing significantly to the economy. Dairy farms provide jobs, not only for the farmers themselves, but also for the workers who help with everything from feeding the cows to maintaining equipment. Then there are the truck drivers, plant workers, and grocery store employees who all play a part in getting milk to your table. But the economic impact of dairy doesn't stop at just milk. There's a whole world of dairy products out there. Cheese, butter, yogurt, ice cream that Americans consume with gusto. Cheese alone is a $45 billion industry in the US. And let's not even get started on how much ice cream Americans eat every year. Spoiler, it's a lot. Dairy farms are also vital to rural economies. Many of these farms are family-owned and have been passed down through generations. In a lot of small towns, the dairy farm is the backbone of the local economy, providing jobs and supporting other businesses. Milk is more than just a beverage in America. It's a cultural icon. Milk has long been a symbol of wholesomeness and health. It's the stuff of childhood memories, the thing you pour over your cereal, and the key ingredient in a comforting glass of chocolate milk after a long day. Milk is also tied to some very specific American traditions. Take, for instance, milk and cookies. Whether it's leaving out a plate for Santa on Christmas Eve or just indulging in a snack after school, there's something quintessentially American about dunking a cookie into a glass of cold milk. Then there's the milkshake, a symbol of 1950s diners and teenage rebellion. You can't picture classic Americana without imagining a group of kids in a booth, sipping on milkshakes with whipped cream and cherries on top. So there you have it, the journey of milk from the udder to your kitchen and all the ways it impacts both the economy and culture. Harvesting 102 million tons of milk a year is no small feat, and it's a process that involves a lot more than just a cow and a bucket. It's a testament to modern technology, hard work, and, let's face it, a little bit of cow magic. The next time you pour yourself a glass of milk, take a moment to think about the incredible journey that milk has taken to get to you. It's a process that involves farmers, cows, machines, and a whole lot of dedication. And while it might seem like just a simple drink, milk is so much more than that. It's a symbol of hard work, tradition, and yes, a little bit of fun. So here's to the humble cow, the hard-working farmer, and the glass of milk that brings it all together. After tens of thousands of liters of fresh milk are collected from happy cows and transported to the factory, the journey of transforming milk into butter officially begins. First, the milk undergoes a strict quality control process. Experts analyze fat content, freshness, pH levels, and bacterial presence to ensure that only the highest quality milk is used in butter production. Once the milk meets the required standards, it is transferred from storage tanks into the factory, where it needs to be gently warmed before cream separation. This process takes place heat exchanger system, where the milk is heated to approximately 30 to 40 Grad to allow the fat to separate more easily from the skim milk. With this optimal temperature, the centrifugation process becomes more efficient, ensuring maximum cream extraction for butter production. Don't be mistaken, butter isn't made from whole milk. Instead, it comes primarily from rich cream. To extract this cream, the milk is sent through a high-speed centrifuge, spinning at over 7,000 revolutions per minute to separate the cream from skim milk. At this stage, the cream remains in liquid form, containing 35 to 40% butterfat, and this will be the key ingredient in producing those golden, creamy butter sticks. Before moving forward, the cream must be pasteurized to eliminate harmful bacteria while preserving its natural flavor. This is the most critical step in butter production. The cream is poured into industrial butter churns, where it is agitated continuously to break down the fat structure. At first, the cream thickens gradually, and then tiny butter granules begin to form and cluster together into soft, smooth butter. Meanwhile, the remaining liquid, known as buttermilk, is separated. After approximately 20 to 30 minutes of churning, the butter granules become more defined, and we can clearly see the distinct texture of freshly formed butter taking shape, our sticks that will eventually make their way to consumers' tables. Once the butter has formed, it is washed with cold water to remove any leftover buttermilk, extending its shelf life and preventing unwanted sourness. Specialized machines knead and blend the butter until it achieves a perfectly smooth and creamy texture, ready to be salted or flavored as needed. The water separated during the butter washing process will have a color like this. And this is truly the result after the butter has been thoroughly washed. It has a naturally pale yellow color, a smooth texture, and balanced moisture, making it soft and easy to shape. The washing process helps remove any remaining buttermilk, extending the butter's shelf life and enhancing its pure, rich flavor. When the butter reaches its ideal texture, fat content, and flavor, it is transferred into molding machines, where it is shaped into sticks, blocks, or large bulk portions, depending on its intended use. For household use, the butter is typically molded into convenient sticks or rectangular blocks, making it easy to measure and store. For commercial kitchens and bakeries, larger blocks are produced to accommodate high-volume cooking and baking needs. Meanwhile, bulk portions are prepared for industrial food production, where butter is used as a key ingredient in various processed foods. Throughout this process, the butter's consistency is maintained to ensure a smooth, uniform product that meets quality standards before packaging and distribution. The butter is then wrapped in foil or vacuum-sealed packaging to preserve its freshness. Automated production lines can package thousands of butter sticks per minute, ensuring high-speed production while maintaining top-quality standards. Before heading to consumers, the butter undergoes one last round of quality checks. Experts evaluate its smoothness, moisture content, color, and taste, ensuring that every stick meets the highest industry standards. Once approved, the freshly made butter is shipped to supermarkets, restaurants, and kitchens worldwide. But this fascinating journey doesn't end here. Do you know what happens to skim milk after it's separated from butter? After pasteurization, skim milk is sent to the packaging process for preservation and distribution to consumers. First, it is rapidly cooled to maintain its quality and freshness. Then, the milk is transferred to a sterile filling system, where it is packaged in cartons, plastic bottles, or specialized pouches to protect it from light and bacteria. The packaging process follows strict standards to ensure food safety. Each package is securely sealed before being labeled with detailed information, including nutritional content, production date, and expiration date. Before we get our hands dirty in the orchards, let's take a moment to appreciate the star of the show. Peaches originated in China over 2,000 years ago, and have since journeyed across continents to capture the hearts and stomachs of people worldwide. They're part of the stone fruit family, which means they have a hard pit or stone at their center. Kind of like that friend who's tough on the outside, but a sweetheart once you get to know them. Peaches come in various types: clingstone, freestone, white, yellow, you name it. The flesh can range from creamy white to vibrant yellow, each with its own unique flavor profile. They're rich in vitamins A and C, low in calories, and high in fiber. In other words, they're the perfect guilt-free snack. Plus, they're versatile enough to be grilled, baked, canned, or just eaten fresh off the tree. When summer rolls around, it's showtime. The peaches are ripe and ready to be picked, but harvesting them is no small feat. Remember, we're talking about 650,000 tons of peaches. That's like stacking over 100,000 elephants. So how do farmers manage this colossal task? First off, peaches have to be picked at just the right time. Too early, and they're hard and tasteless. Too late, and they're overripe and mushy. Farmers use their expert knowledge, and maybe a little bit of that sixth sense, to determine the perfect moment. They look for color changes, slight softness, and that sweet peachy aroma wafting through the air. Despite all the advancements in technology, most peaches are still picked by hand. This is because peaches bruise easily, and machines just aren't as gentle as human hands. Yet, workers head out into the orchards early in the morning to avoid the scorching midday sun. Armed with baskets and a keen eye, they carefully twist and pull each peach from its branch, placing it gently into their containers. It's hard work, no doubt about it. The labor is intensive and requires a skilled workforce that knows how to handle the fruit without damaging it. This is where the agricultural labor force shines, often comprising local workers and seasonal migrants who have been doing this for generations. As the peaches are picked, they're also inspected. Any fruit that doesn't meet quality standards, bruises, blemishes, or signs of pests, is set aside. These peaches might not make it to the fresh fruit market, but can still find a second life in processed forms like jams or purees. Nothing goes to waste in the world of peaches. Harvesting peaches might sound like a piece of cake, or should we say, a slice of pie. But there are a few things to keep in mind to avoid turning your day into a slapstick comedy. First off, peaches bruise more easily than a ripe banana in a toddler's hand, so handle them with the gentleness you'd reserve for a soap bubble. Wear gloves to protect your hands from the tree branches and to keep your grip firm. Nobody wants to juggle peaches unintentionally. Be mindful of your footing when using ladders. They can be as tricky as a unicycle on a tightrope. And watch out for our buzzing friends, the bees. They're big fans of peaches and might not appreciate you crashing their party. Also, remember that overripe peaches have a knack for turning into squishy surprises. Nothing like a handful of mush to brighten your day. Lastly, don't forget to wear a hat and sunscreen. Turning into a lobster isn't part of the job description. So, keep these tips in mind, and your peach picking adventure will be just peachy. Once the peaches are harvested, they're loaded onto trucks and transported to processing facilities. Time is of the essence here. Peaches are perishable and need to be processed quickly to maintain their quality. At the factory, the peaches undergo several steps. First, they get a good wash to remove any dirt, pesticides, or that fuzzy layer of peach fuzz. Think of it as a spa day for peaches. Here, the peaches are sorted based on size, color, and firmness. Advanced machines use cameras and sensors to detect imperfections, but human inspectors are also on hand to make the final call. Peaches are then cooled to slow down ripening and extend shelf life. This involves cold storage rooms where the temperature and humidity are carefully controlled. Utilizing conveyor belts and modern technology in the pre-processing of peaches offers significant benefits that enhance both efficiency and product quality. Conveyor belts streamline the movement of peaches through various stages, like washing, sorting, and packing, reducing manual handling and the risk of fruit bruising. Modern technologies, such as optical sorting systems equipped with cameras and sensors, enable precise detection of defects, size grading, and color sorting at high speeds. This automation ensures consistent quality and increases throughput, meeting market demands more effectively. Additionally, reducing reliance on manual labor lowers operational costs and minimizes human error. It also improves worker safety by lessening physical strain and exposure to potential hazards. Depending on their ultimate destination, peaches can take different routes. The first one is the fresh market peaches. These are the cream of the crop, literally. They're carefully packed into crates or boxes designed to protect them during transportation. Packaging often includes cushioning materials to prevent bruising. Then we have processing peaches. Peaches destined for canning, freezing, or making into products like jams and juices undergo additional processing. They might be peeled, pitted, sliced, or pureed, depending on their end use. Canned peaches are a delightful way to savor the sweet and juicy flavor of peaches all year round. By capturing the fruit at its peak ripeness, canning preserves the natural sweetness and tender texture that fresh peaches are celebrated for. The process involves peeling and slicing the peaches before immersing them in a light syrup or their own juices, which helps to maintain their vibrant color and enhances their inherent taste. The versatility of canned peaches makes them a pantry staple. They are ready to eat straight from the can, making them a convenient snack. In the culinary world, they shine in desserts like peach cobblers, pies, and parfaits, adding a burst of flavor without the prep work required for fresh fruit. Additionally, they can be incorporated into savory dishes. Think glazed pork with peach sauce or tossed into salads for a hint of sweetness. From the meticulous care in the orchards to the intricate processes in the factories, harvesting 650,000 tons of peaches is no small feat. It's a testament to the hard work and dedication of American farmers, workers, and everyone involved in the journey from tree to table. Peaches enrich our economy, adding millions of dollars and supporting thousands of jobs. They enhance our culture, symbolizing hospitality, warmth, and the simple joys of life. In our daily lives, they offer not just nutrition, but also moments of indulgence and comfort. So next time you savor a juicy peach, remember the incredible journey it took to get to you. Appreciate the hands that picked it, the care that preserved it, and the rich tapestry of economic and cultural threads woven into that single delicious bite.